like, okay, what are we going to bring and what don't we bring? Because every time I travel somewhere, I bring 2 notebooks. Usually, do I have one of them here? I have like a small notebook and a big notebook. The small one has like projects I'm working on, and then the bigger notebook has my D&D current campaign world building stuff.
Fucking nerd.
And then I was gonna bring my DS.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, because we won't really have time to like watch movies besides on the plane, and even then the plane will have plane movies for free. So, but what I'm recording. What do you all take when you're traveling?
My wife.
That okay. I'll make an addendum to that. What objects do you take, and people don't count as objects, that you take for fun?
No. Oh no.
If you say
man.
my wife, then we have some bigger issues.
Depends on
Some
how long.
larger
Like,
issues.
Yeah.
depends on how long
I
the
don't
flight
bring
is.
nothing.
Josh is one of those guys that raw dogs flights. He's just like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Yeah, dude,
let's do it by tier. So let's do. It's gonna be, say, a 2-hour flight. What would you bring? 6-hour flight, and then 12-hour flight. So it's like basically like you're gonna fly 2 states over. You're flying cross country, and then you're flying international.
Well,
Not for
if you don't mind, I'll start because I've never flown before. So Xanax,
Good.
to the above. I think that covers pretty much every flight.
gotta
I'll
get this
probably
man on a plane.
I'll probably just bring my own headphones to put into the in-flight movie. I don't need a lot. I don't bring anything when I travel.
I say,
Clothes and
normally
cash.
I always bring my earbuds or whatever, because I'm like listening to music for most of it. I know on the flight to England, I did watch like 3 or 4 movies on the plane, because that was the overnight flight from here to London.
Yeah.
Most of the flights I do, I just either listen to music or I'll download something off Netflix or whatever onto my iPad
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
watch it there.
Long
Every
flights.
time I'm on a flight, I'm like kind of hoping like something goes wrong and they need me to go land it for them because I can.
Did anybody land this plane? Josh is like, finally, my time is come.
Our captain has passed out, and so is the co-captain.
Well, do
So I was told
you guys
every flight-
remember there was that like meme going around on TikTok where it was women being like, I can't believe statistically there's like a statistical amount of men who think they could land a commercial airliner just by being talked through it from air
Yeah.
control. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course, like, like
Too
I
many,
also firmly believe that.
too many men have grown up with Naked Gun. What was it, 2 or 3 or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, even like I've played enough flight simulators with the joystick to fucking like if they're in my ears talking me through it, I could probably land that plane.
I got 300 hours on GTA. I can do anything.
That's not realistic. The flight simulators are realistic.
GTA is a
Oh,
life
goodness.
simulator, man. It's just real.
Where's the Xbox controller? I can land this thing.
I brought my own. You like plug into the USB in the fucking here we go.
Sir, that's a charger.
Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean?
How are you supposed to steer the plane?
Fly heading a 121. What? Press triangle. I'm
I'm on Xbox. I don't have triangle.
What I love about long flights is it almost forces me to watch bad movies that I would never watch at home on their like Alaska Airlines movie whatever thing. It's like, oh yeah, I'll watch I'll Be Home for Christmas, Santa Claus 17, whatever.
Oh,
like
no.
all these movies that are like safe because I don't want the kid behind me watching the horror movie I'd rather be watching as they peer through the seat. Like,
Speaking of crazy horror movies, did everybody go see Terrifier 3 yet?
I was actually going to segue into that because I just watched 1 and 2. And I'm going to watch 3
I watched
next.
1 and 2 recently as well, and so
I
like
also just
Kim,
watched one.
my girlfriend Kim, who does not like gore, she doesn't like it. She's like, obsessed with those 1 and 2 after we watched it. She's like, let's go see the third one, like randomly this week. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then we just sat in the theater and like literally within the first scene, this white like this, I guess there's a husband and wife and their young child.
Don't spoil the movie for me.
I'm not, but like literally within the first scene, the husband stayed and watched the movie, but the wife took the kid and left.
I'm gonna go ahead and pop out.
I'm like, what did you eat? Why? Like, did you see a clown and think that should be fine? Because it's certainly not.
That I had that same experience happen with a dad and his 2 kids to that I think it was Sausage Party, that Seth Rogen movie. I can't even remember why we went and saw it. I think we were just trying to kill time or whatever before something. And we're like, well, this is like 2 hours, you know?
That's an airplane movie.
Here, we keep our wieners in our packages.
Yeah.
100%.
So we go in there and we get our seats and everything, and in the front row, like, we see this dad and his 2 kids go and sit down, and immediately, like, the first word they say is, "You dumb." And then he gets his 2 kids up and walks out with them.
What is the cartoon? It should have been good for the kids.
Cartoons.
My thing
man,
with
it's good.
Terrifier is like these are B slasher movies in
Right.
their heart, right? So like the thing with Terrifier now, Terrifier 3 is made millions of dollars, and like it was like beating out Joker like 2 or whatever. Everyone's shitting on Joker 2, and everyone's going to see Terrifier 3 instead. I'm like, what's happening right now? Like this like absolutely was made on like no budget. And then,
What was it?
but I don't.
Terrifier is also giving
the first ones.
I just watched 1 and 2, but Terrifier 3 is also like causing other movies that are like kid friendly to get a bump in sales because the kids are buying the tickets for those movies and then hopping over to Terrifier 3. But
like,
I think
they're so incredibly gory that I'm like,
actually, I would say that they're not as gory as like Saw or Hostel or Human Centipede.
And part Centipede.
But like, I just feel like with the way these movies are set up, is there's like just egregious amount of like practical like maiming of bodies, and like I've never had this like
yeah, there was a
feeling
scene
in the theater before where I was like, I'm fatigued. I'm fatigued by the end of Terrifier 3. I was like, oh my god, like I need to like bleach my eyes with like just kittens running through a field or something like that.
I need to go watch My Little Pony.
Well, that's the funny thing is like I don't know all y'all's history with dead bodies, but from experience, watching Terrifier 1 and 2, that's where I'm just gonna say from experience dealing with dead bodies. Watching 1 and 2, I actually find it comical the amount of gore, because like in number 2 there's a scene where a guy gets his head like off, and I'm just laughing because it looks like cream cheese and strawberry mix.
So like
nothing
I did notice
in
that,
the
like,
neck.
In Terrifier 2, there is a guy who gets his head crushed in, and it looks like there's baked beans in there. I'm like, hello?
Like there's nothing anatomically correct once the knife or anything like goes into the person. So I'm just like laughing that I'm like, this is supposed to be scary. That's like a dessert that's getting chopped up.
It's not,
but it's in a human.
I will say Terrifier 1 and 2, I was like, okay, like this is comically extreme. But then Terrifier 3, I feel like they stepped it up a notch.
Yeah.
And like there's one scene I think I was the only person that busted out laughing in the theater, which is kind of embarrassing. But like this is the one spoiler I'll give you. There's a scene, because this one's Christmas themed. Yeah. Terrifier 3 is Christmas themed.
Mm-hmm.
He pretends to be Santa, and he's in the mall chair. And then he has a bag full of gifts. Like one kid runs up, he gives her a teddy bear, and then all the other kids in line are like, "Yeah, Santa's giving out presents!" And so they all run up and they start taking presents, and their parents start collecting them. Like, what are you doing? Like, wait your turn in line. Like, who is this guy? That like this guy's scaring me. What the hell? And then one kid is left, and he's like digging through this box, and he goes, "I wonder what I got." And he opens the box, and then the whole fucking thing explodes.
Oh no!
And I was actually laughing out loud because the kid, the way he just delivered that line, he's just like tearing the. I wonder what I got. Like what? That was quite a scene. A mall Santa scene.
Yeah, that is definitely not an airplane movie.
Not at all. Download it on your iPad. You're like,
I have no
That-
no. It's a clown. I have no interest.
That's a
You
movie
guys
that
can
I'll
have
watch
that.
on Google Glass, where I just like look in that little screen. I'm like, oh,
You said
Hey.
Google Glass.
this is future editor James here. If you like our conversations that we're having for our unboxing episode where we just unbox our week, go ahead and slash the subscription button or hit the like so that you can keep up to date with all of our other conversations we have. If you also like tabletop, go ahead and check out our live stream tab, and you can see our tabletop RPG game Venture into Vimmeros. And then we're gonna have edited editions coming soon. But stay tuned and let's see what other kind of silly Halloween spooky stuff we have going on.
Art the Clown has no dialogue. He's just like miming the whole time. So like there's in Terrifier 3 there are extended scenes where it's just him and like you're like, I'm watching a silent film right now. Like what is happening? It's like it doesn't make some of the scenes to me, like I said, like by the end of it, I was like fatigued with like some of the way it just goes on for too long and like things don't make sense. And then there's just like this
all of them have
gratuitous
done that
amount
so
of
far.
like, what?
I feel like all of them have done that so far. Kind of
Yeah,
drag out.
absolutely. But the first two were new to me. You know what I mean? Like I watched them
Right.
and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. This is comedically gory. But now by the third one, I've just been like overly. I've had too much Art the Clown dump at this point, so I'm just like.
Well, so when I was watching the first one, my partner was like, they like to make cookies every year, like Halloween cookies. And so they're not looking at the TV as it's on in the background. So because Art the Clown doesn't talk at all and really doesn't make any noise, I want to stat him out as a monster because he's somehow really silent for having giant clunky shoes and a bag full of murder toys. But I'm like, Art the Clown is making a hand gesture that is reminiscent of jerking off a and just like doing all the narration of what he's doing for my partner.
I will say,
and they're giggling over there like
watching Terrifier 3. Art the Clown's a warlock.
the first
I'm
one.
gonna say it right now.
Yeah, the first one he very much felt like just a messed up rogue. This second one, he's definitely inching into the warlock dream, like Freddy Krueger levels.
Yeah.
Third one, he's straight up a fiend pact.
Yeah.
Warlock. Guarantee it, 100%. Cut it, stat it. I'm telling you.
So I need to make a Terrifier 1, Art the Clown 2, and then 3, and it's just his progression into
Well, you
warlock.
you just make the one stat block, but because you're doing multiple levels, that's his progression. You know what I mean?
Well, I think he like. So I was reading the lore about him, and he was human in like the first one.
And there's 2 movies before Terrifier 1 that he was in.
Yeah, it's the Ninth Circle and All Hallows Eve. Yeah. Where the Ninth Circle one is like a horror vignette. So he's only in it for a bit. But yeah, I need to watch those to get the full bit of him.
He was just a guy. He was just a clown, and now he's like a demon fueled.
I feel like he'll be multi-classed. Like the first 3 levels are rogue. That's when he dies at the end of Terrifier 1, and then in Terrifier 2 and 3, that's his progression into warlock classes.
And he's got like it Pact of the Blade, right? So like he's got that chosen weapon. Especially in number 3, there's a gratuitous amount of chainsaw scenes. You're just like.
So I thought it was hilarious in the first one when he just like, because no horror monster ever has a gun, right? And he just like whips out a gun and it's like pop pop.
Yeah,
But,
there's some of that in number 3 too. Where he's just like, they're like, look at the clown, he's so funny. He's like, it's like,
but it pays off at the end. Like if they didn't end the first one how they did, the gun would have just been like, seriously, you like you cheated with the gun. But with how the first one ended, then it made sense. I was like, okay. Just because he used it early in the movie, that Chekhov's gun isn't it's not done yet.
There's some crazy ass fucking scenes in that movie. I'm just like I said, by the end of it, that's the first time I've ever been like, okay, like I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
like I need to watch something else.
Yeah, go watch Hostel.
I don't think I will.
Yeah,
at least not this Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I watched Hostel when I was in high school, so maybe it was more gory than I remember, but like I just remember after watching that movie, like
Unsettled.
Yeah.
Versus like these
I-
ones where I'm giggling because of how anatomically incorrect it is. However, in the second one, they do a slightly better job. And so there was a scene, I think everyone who's watched the second one knows, there's like a bedroom scene that everyone's like, how the heck did they do that? And it's that they had like an animatronic woman that they deep faked her face onto it so he could actually be there doing the stuff, but it's just a mannequin effectively. But it looks real because they deep faked her head onto it.
Yeah.
Or that's what the going internet thing is. You know, if the director ever watches this and wants to come on, I'd love to talk to.
Like I said, I do feel like the third one they stepped it up a notch. I feel like it was a lot better, even from the second one. Like everything felt a little squishier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good. I'll be honest. Like with horror movies, like here's the thing. Like when I was in the 7th grade, I want to say it was, I had one of my best friends was really into the Saw movies, and this was like from 7th grade until I want to say 10th grade ish. Whenever we would hang out, we'd watch those movies and stuff, and I just got completely like, I don't know if it's like gored out or whatever, but like I get so tired of gore now from watching those movies.
Well,
Like,
then you will not want like Terrifier because
this was like I get so bored of it now where it's like I see it and I'm just like kind of like how you're saying you're fatigued by it. It's like it happens once, happens twice, happens 3 times, and by the 3rd time I'm like, okay, that was unnecessary. You know what I mean?
I do.
like literally the whole point of these movies is a one long setup for, I don't know, what seems like 20-minute scenes of him just annihilating a body or multiple. So it's like it feels that long. I don't know if they're definitely not actually that long, but like it feels that long. So you're like, okay, like how much more can he do to this? He's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's gonna keep going.
I do like that
My wife
it knows
and I
what
had
it is.
what? We had like a Saw marathon last October or 2 Octobers ago.
Okay.
And we only made it through 5 movies.
You made it to
And she was
5.
like, I need
Only
this.
5.
Yeah, only 5. I think there's 10 now. And she's like, I need to
there's a
stop.
lot.
I feel weird.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
She was like, it's starting to feel normal, and I don't like that.
Exactly. That's the problem. I get with this stuff, man. It's like I'm
called her on
glad.
my lunch. I called her on my lunch break or something, and I was like, Crystal,
Want to play a
you
game?
have to snooze on your alarm 3 times a day. And I was like, I knew she was at work, and I've been there, so I started describing her surroundings to her. I was like, blue chair on your left, underneath it. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm hanging up.
I've never seen any of the Saw movies. Like none of those movies ever. I was never like, I want to go see the weird dolly movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, we torrented them and like, you know what I mean? Sorry, allegedly torrented them. We allegedly did that.
You tore into them.
Yeah, we allegedly torrented them, but we really tore into them.
You tore
yeah.
into them. It's a common mistake. It's a common mistake.
Yeah. Arr. So we never paid to go see them. It was very much like it was very allegedly again, never paid to see them.
It's just
because
like allegedly
I
I
would pay
never
so
touched
much
the-
money to really see them.